if you want to study fashion, have a career in fashion, start a business in fashion, or maybe you want to move from another industry to fashion or pivot within fashion. So maybe you've got a job in the fashion industry and you want to pivot to doing something else. I've put together a list of 7 tasks that I think will hopefully help for you, and they're definitely worth focusing on now whilst you have this extra capacity and time. So my first one is goal setting. Long-term goal setting, let's start with. It's something that we should do, but more often than not, it's the first thing to get cut from the priority list when time is short. It's effective to start with like a longer term goal, something that spans like maybe 10 to 20 years, and now is like the perfect, well, not the perfect time, a great time to reset and think about what you want to do, what you want your future to look like. And I'm not going to go into great detail about that here, but it just suggests you start with one big goal, and some people call this their North Star goal, and it's like the ultimate goal that will get you through the tough times. So you can see this goal and times are tough, but you can still see the goal, and that'll get you through that really tough time you're going through. If you're a visual person like me, I'm going to suggest that you try out a mood board or an image board, however you like to describe it, and compile the vision of your goal in the center of this board, and it will make it more tangible and help that sink into your brain, and you can keep it in your visual mind as you're going through life. Some people don't like to make big goal decisions like this because they feel like that might pin them down, or they might be trapped by them. So my thought for that is that you just got to remember that it's your goal and your target, and you can change it at any time. So you're going down a path whether you've chosen the path or not in life, and all the things you learn along the way help you reach a goal, not reach a goal, and you can then use those things you're learning and refine and change that ultimate goal, so you're not stuck with that goal. It can change however you are. And I will probably mention this again if you're not already aware, but I'm putting together a bunch of free resources for you, some videos, some tools, and some guides, and they're just to help you with making decisions and a lot of things that I'm mentioning in this video. So check out my website or my Instagram page, and I'll just keep you updated about like things that I'm bringing out, like what you can look for when I release the things. So short-term goals. Once you've got your North Star goal, your ultimate goal picture in your mind, you can start then to break it down into smaller chunks, shorter term goals. Everything will stem from that big goal, and then all the smaller things will then become a lot clearer because they will feed into that bigger vision. You'll be able to decide on your fashion school of choice a bit easier, your particular exact course of choice, your financial targets, your timelines, your networking choices, maybe the groups you join, the strategies you're going to use, everything that you are working through, it will all stem back to that. And it will help you achieve your long-term goal. What should be your number one focus for the next 90 days? Well, it's going to be one short-term goal or focus that will help you move the needle. It will help you move forwards the quickest than any other. And obviously, depending on what your North Star goal is and who you are and what you want, will mean that your next 90 days is very personal to you, and I can't describe what that would be, but it'll depend on a lot of different things like money and knowledge and time, and what you're going to do in the next 90 days. There's a lot of data out there that supports that 90-day sprints are the most effective duration for like planning and achieving goals. And I've spoken to a lot of others who've had great success with this plan. And I'm starting recently to work through that myself in my own business. So I'll keep you updated on that. A lot of people set plans and strategies or goals or like maybe resolutions on an annual, yearly basis, which can be a bit too long term, because I find that you kind of just put things off till tomorrow and you don't achieve them right now. So just don't forget that if you're mapping out the next 90 days, you've got to choose something that's going to hit your short-term goal, and then that also will be feeding into your bigger long-term goal. Again, if you need further help with this, I'm going to be putting together a video, some worksheets that will help you, hopefully help you shed some more light on this subject matter of goal setting. Because I don't know about you, but goal setting is just not something that they taught at school. And if you're anything like me, a creative person, deadlines can really help drive your focus. So you can really get focused with a deadline, but setting your own priorities and goals can be really hard, and it can take a lot of practice. So I think any help with that can be really good. Organization. You might prefer to spend your time doing something, getting organized, and prepared for when the time comes in the future that this will all come into play. So mess can be really disruptive to your actions. So whether that is like physical mess, like on your desk, in your work spot, your studio, your cutting table, maybe it's digital mess, like in your inbox or your apps. Or maybe it's mental mess, like you've got like a ton of like ideas up here and lists, to-do lists floating around in your head. All of these things are distractions, and it's so easy to overlook them when you're running at like 100 miles an hour during normal day-to-day times in our lives. The reality is that they're actually like holding us back and maybe slowing us down. And there's nothing worse than like trying to find something when you're like that elusive document, that sketch you need, just like you knew you've seen it somewhere but you're not quite sure where. Yeah, that's me. It's in my special pile somewhere. But so whilst you're forced to slow down for the next few weeks, it's probably going to be a great time to spend time organizing your thoughts, your online space, whatever it is, your physical desk space. It's going to be a great time for that. So I look forward to seeing all those tidy desks out there. Educate yourself. Again, this is something that we all know we should all do, and you can never be never gonna know everything, but it's just something that we never really get around to because there's just never enough time. And I'm not necessarily talking about spending any money here, but first, I think about what you want to do, what you want to be educated just on, like what area are you missing knowledge in, and what will have the biggest impact on your fashion career goals, your fashion ideas, what's going to help you shift the needle, expand your knowledge. And it might be to do with your 90-day goal. So those two things can be very related, and it could be a subject like a technology thing that you really need to learn that will make your life easier in the long term. Or maybe now is the time to really dig into education, like for like a practical skill, like understanding a pattern cutting better, understanding like sewing or techniques, or learning how to use a CAD design programs. So there's so many different ways that you can like use this time to expand your knowledge. Maybe you're just starting out and thinking, oh, maybe fashion design's the one for me. And so you want to dig into like, is it the right thing for me? What's involved in the fashion industry? What course would be great for my interests in fashion? So this is a perfect time to like research that. What would your career look like in fashion? Or what would be a good option for you if you changed industry from the current one you're in to fashion? It's just such a great time to, if you've got the time now, to dig into the researching of roles, researching ideas, become an expert in that knowledge. Who works in that particular store that you want to work in, who works in that company, getting some names together, researching all that kind of thing, researching what's the best kind of resume to have. You don't have to like spend loads of money for this. There's so many YouTube videos, blogs and podcasts out there if there's kind of things that you need to research. And there's also great books out there that you can read and take your research further. Occasionally you might think it's like worth investing in a course or two, but really at the moment, in the next few weeks while you're stuck at home, really like dig into the free stuff, because I think we can all make significant progress and improvements with the free information that's out there, and you'll really benefit in the long term from that. Practice, practice, practice. Skills, knowledge and expertise all come in time. And if time is what you have right now is the time to practice. And by practice, you can become an expert. So practice and repetition can mean you can master small skills that are really important. Perhaps you feel like daunted by your sewing machine. Something as simple as that. Get it out. Use it on a daily basis. You don't have to make anything. You just need to practice. You need to set it up. Whatever it is, practice, practice, practice. And then by the end of the 2 weeks, you will become an expert in whatever it is you've been practicing. If you made it this far into the video, I really want to thank you for sticking around, staying with me. It's been great to have you. And I hope you will like it. I hope you will spread the word. And hope you got some useful ideas for what to do during this time. Let me know what your plans are in any comments, and I hope to see you again soon.